còn số vấn.
We have lots of people on the call today because, of course, whenever I do my desserts, everybody signs up for desserts. When I try the healthy stuff, I get like a couple, 2, 3. So we just went with the lemon snowball cookies today because it was snowing outside this week, and I thought it would be fun to make those. So we have 2 lemons. Not a ton of ingredients today. I tried to complicate things, but I couldn't. It's just good the way they are. But we're going to do a couple different types of toppings for them. So we have our 2 lemons. We have a bag, 2 bags of white stuff, some really white stuff and some less white stuff. And then we've got our butter. And hopefully you softened the butter. If you haven't softened it, just throw it in the microwave for like 20 seconds or so it gets soft. But if it's soft, then you are good to go. And we have, those are our 4 main ingredients, but we're going to do some different things with them. So do you guys all have a zester or a grater? Oh yeah, very good, you guys. Yeah, everybody's got it. And you got to be real careful with these zesters because there's little knives on them. You see those little holes? Those are sharp. So we got to make sure that when we're rubbing our lemon on top, we don't accidentally zest our fingers. We don't want any fingers in our recipe here. That doesn't call for fingers and or skin. So we're gonna zest, and it's called zesting when you take off the yellow part of the lemon. So that's where the good stuff, that's where the strong lemon oil is. It smells really good, doesn't it? You smell your lemon? So this is gonna add lots of lemon flavor because there's oil in there. And we're gonna zest one in one bowl and then we'll end up zesting another in the other bowl. We don't have to zest them both just yet. But we're gonna do the first one and we're gonna zest it in, you can actually zest it straight into your mixing bowl if you want to do that. And then we'll squeeze it into another bowl, but we're gonna zest our lemon. So we wanna get all the yellow off of our lemon. And you just rub it on the zester. Like I said, you got to be careful. You don't want to rub your skin on there. And when you do it, you'll see the little shavings of lemon inside your bowl. And you can taste those. Those will taste really lemony. Well, it's kind of a pain to do the zesting. It's really worth it. We're going to have it in our cookies and we're going to have it in one of the toppings that we're making. So you want to be real careful. Don't zest your fingers or your hands. Real gentle, and you go around. And what you don't want is the white stuff. You want to just get the yellow off. So once you get the yellow off, you don't keep going because the white stuff can be bitter. It's called pit. On the bowl, and that helps get some of it out. You can taste some of that too if you want to taste a little yellow, the lemon zest. It's kind of strong, but trust me, it adds the flavor. So we'll be, we're going to add some things to this and then we'll squeeze that lemon. So we've got our butter that we're going to add to the lemon zest. So we just zested 1 lemon into our mixing bowl, and now we're going to add our butter into the lemon zest. And if you have a spatula, it's a good time to use it. And we get to measure things today. So like I said, we just did 1 lemon. We're saving the other lemon for a little bit later. So we have our lemon zest and our butter mixed up. And if you have your softened butter, it's gonna mix really nicely. And now we're gonna need a 1/4 cup. We're gonna need a 1/4 cup. And that's a 1/4. If you have 4 of these, you have 1 full cup. How about that? So we're gonna get a 1/4 cup of the really white bag. So the really white bag is powdered sugar. And you can test to see if it's the right bag because you can taste it and it'll be sweet. And you'll say, yeah, that's sugar. So you're gonna get a 1/4 cup of this. And we like to just, you can kind of level it off. Sometimes people use a knife to level off. If you're measuring something with that's powdery like this, or like when we're the flour that I gave you guys, we won't have to measure the flour, but it's really good to spoon it into your measuring cup and then level it off. That's like the proper way to do it. But if we have a little bit of extra powdered sugar, that's okay. It doesn't never hurt anybody. So we're gonna add our 1/4 cup of powdered sugar. We're gonna add that to our butter and our lemon zest. And we're gonna mix that together. One thing I love about these cookies is they are so buttery. They kind of taste like a shortbread cookie. I could eat them all day long. And kind of I did because I made a batch yesterday to test it. And I just ate them all. So we're mixing. Now the powdered sugar can be kind of messy, but that's okay. I wore black today, which is probably not a great idea because I'm going to get it all over myself. We're going to use powdered sugar 3 times today. So we only used a 1/4 cup for our batter, but we're going to use it 2 more times, but just not in the batter. So we're going to leave that really white bag off to the side until we need it again. So we've got our zest, our butter, and our powdered sugar, the 1/4 cup that we've just mixed together. Now we're going to add some lemon juice. And if you want to take a bowl, a separate bowl, you're going to use about maybe 3/4 of this lemon. We're going to squeeze it all into a bowl, and I like to squeeze it into a bowl because you may need to take out the seeds. Or if you have a strainer, you could squeeze it into the strainer. And make sure you taste it. See if it's, sometimes it might taste sour for people, and they have fun sour faces. So what I did was I cut my lemon into 4s, but if you have smaller hands, you may need to make it smaller. And you can squeeze like 3/4 into your bowl. We really want about a tablespoon of lemon juice for our batter. So we added all that zest, so it's going to give some good lemon flavor. Make sure you taste that lemon. You make a sour face? Oh, Allie, that's a sour face. You like it? Mm-hmm. All right, so I'm squeezing 3 slices of my lemon into a separate bowl. And you can use your fingers to take out the seeds, or you can use a spoon to take out the seeds. But really, we just don't want those seeds in our batter. We don't want an unexpected crunch. And this should be about a tablespoon. If you want to practice your measuring, we can pour it in. Oh my gosh, it's almost perfect. And you can pour that tablespoon into your mixing bowl. I spilled a little, that's okay. So we're gonna mix that lemon juice in now with our butter and our lemon zest and our powdered sugar. Might be hard to mix. So we can go ahead and add our flour now too. Basically you don't have to measure any of your flour. You can just put the bag that you got. That's gonna be 1.25 cups worth. So the flour is the other bag of not so white powder. And this is gonna help give our cookies some structure so that it's not just a big pile of melted butter when we try to bake it. So we're gonna stir in our flour into our batter. So now we have all 4 of our ingredients. We've got that 1/4 cup of the powdered sugar. We've got all of that butter that was softened. We've got our lime, or our lemon zest, I mean, and our lemon juice. And you're gonna keep mixing. It's gonna seem dry, and that's okay. You can keep mixing. And you'll see that the flour will start to get all incorporated.
You said 1 1/4 cups flour, right?
Yeah, that should be pre-measured out in your cup or in your bag. And you'll keep mixing. It'll seem kind of dry, but just like snowballs, we're gonna use our hands and we're gonna make little balls. So it'll start coming together once you use your hands and start making the balls. And it's about 1 tablespoon size, but really, I mean, it can vary. We don't have to be exact. So you can just use your hands and take some and kind of squeeze it together with your hands. And you're gonna make a ball. You can roll it in your hands, squeeze it. It doesn't have to be a perfect ball. Make sure you have a taste too. It's pretty good. What do you need, River? You're raising your hand. I can't hear you. You want to unmute yourself? Don't put that cheese stick in the batter. So I rolled, and you're gonna put your parchment paper on a baking sheet, and you're gonna make all the little balls and set them on top of your baking sheet. This is where little hands are helpful because they can make little lemon balls. So you just grab a little handful, kind of squeeze it, roll it a little bit, and set it on your tray. Like I said, they can be different sizes, that's okay. And if you haven't preheated your oven to 350, you'll want to do that. It's going to be in the oven 350 for about 14 to 16 minutes. It's not going to take very long. And what you'll notice is that these aren't going to spread out like other cookies. These are going to stay like little balls. They're just going to set. All right, so my hands are wiped off now. Remember how I said we were gonna do the second lemon? We're gonna zest a second lemon into a smaller bowl, like a cereal-sized bowl. And this is what we're gonna make our icing with. And it's really simple. So if you can get your zester, we're gonna zest some more lemon into a little bowl. Like I said, a cereal-sized bowl. This is gonna give some real nice lemon flavor to our icing. And we're making a liquidy icing. It's not gonna be like the kind you find on like sugar cookies. It's gonna be a little runnier than that. There's only 3 ingredients for this. It's gonna be more powdered sugar, more lemon juice, and the lemon zest. And you'll see the lemon zest will make it really yummy and lemony. You may not have to do the whole lemon. And then you're gonna squeeze maybe 2 lemon quarters. You might have 1 left over from the previous lemon. And again, you want to get all the seeds out before we start mixing anything else in there. So like about half a lemon you're going to put in to start, and then we can add more lemon juice if we need to. I love that Freddie and Mom have a juicer. That's good.
Allison,
Yeah.
after we zest the lemon, how much lemon juice should we put in?
Like 2, maybe 2 quarters.
Okay.
And then we may add some more. So we're gonna add some powdered sugar. We're gonna whisk it. We might add some more lemon. Because really the consistency we want is kind of almost like a sauce in a way. It's not gonna be real thick like regular cookies, cookie icing. And you can use your quarter cup to just scoop out some powdered sugar. And you're gonna add it to, you don't have to really measure it because we're just gonna use it to add some at a time. And if you have your whisk, this is a good time to use that whisk. You're gonna stir your powdered sugar into your lemon juice and the lemon zest into that small bowl. And you're gonna add like a quarter cup, around a quarter cup at a time. Until it
I want to see the little bubbles.
Hold on, baby. We're gonna put them in the oven. So we gotta make the ice.
stirring. So I have, my icing's not quite thick yet. I put about almost 2 quarters or almost a half a cup in, and I'm gonna put maybe almost another quarter cup in, and we're gonna mix that. The funny thing about powdered sugar is you think that you're putting enough in, and then all of a sudden it just disappears into the liquid. So you're gonna whisk that until your consistency that you're looking for. It's gonna look kind of white with yellow flecks in there. And you're gonna be able to see it pour off the spoon. Add a tiny bit more powdered sugar. But you don't want it so thick that it won't pour off the spoon. And you don't want it too thin that it's just gonna fall right off the cookie. All right. So you can see my consistency here. Yeah, that's looking good, Freddie. You can taste this too. I bet you're gonna like it. With some good lemony, sugary lemoniness.
I'm playing catch up, so it was just lemon zest, and powdered sugar, correct?
That's right.
Okay.
Yep. I put about 2 quarters of a lemon in.
Okay.
And then added maybe just under a cup of powdered sugar. I did about a quarter cup at a time.
Gotcha. Okay.
Really just, you can blend it until it's sort of like it's gonna fall off the spoon.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
And now I can show you guys what's gonna happen when you get them out of the oven. Here's the two different ways we can do this. So you're still gonna have some powdered sugar left in that bag. And when your cookies come out of the oven, they're gonna be really hot. You wanna wait a couple minutes before you do anything with them. But you can take a couple and put them straight into your powdered sugar bag after they're out of the oven and gently cover them with powdered sugar. Then they're gonna really look like a snowball. That's one way to do it. So when they come out of the oven, you can take the hot cookies, you can put them in the bag and gently roll them around in the bag, or you can put the powdered sugar on a plate and roll them on the plate. And you might have to coat them a couple times. When they come out of the oven, they're gonna be hot and steamy. So when you roll them into your powdered sugar, if the powdered sugar might disappear, you wanna roll them again so they look really snowy. That's after they come out of the oven. The other thing that you can do when they come out of the oven is, and I preferred this taste better because this adds more lemon. So I took the frosting that we made, the icing that we made, and I took my spoon after they were out of the oven and I just drizzled a little bit on top. And when they're hot, it's gonna melt around that cookie. So those are two different ways you can do it. You can take your cookies when they're out of the oven and roll them in powdered sugar to make them really snowbally. Or if you want extra lemon flavor, you take our icing and you're gonna just dab it on top of a cookie. You don't wanna try to dip the cookie. If you try to dip the cookie in the icing, it will break because they're very fragile and they'll stick to the icing. So that's why you can just take your spoon and drizzle it on top because it will melt right around that cookie. It'll be like a yummy melted-y snowball, but that'll give it a real yummy lemon flavor. And when that cools, that icing will harden a little bit. And so it won't be so sticky and you'll be able to eat them. So they're real tasty. So like I said, you've got those two different ways to coat your cookies when they come out of the oven. And you'll want to wait a little bit and keep in mind they'll be fragile. So you don't want to squeeze them, they'll crush. They'll fall apart. So you want to be real gentle when you're rolling them in the powdered sugar, be real gentle with them. And when you drizzle your icing on top, just don't dip it, just use a spoon and drizzle on top. They'll be ready in about 14, 15, maybe 16 minutes out of the oven. But you don't want them to be really brown because then they'll be too hard. These are just good, soft, buttery, yummy cookies.